Greetings and salutations, this is Jason Silverain, and what has been a short time for you has been a long time for me. I have not done any recording for about 2 weeks. I got hit bad with either hay fever, and, well, to be honest, it sounded like I had my head underwater trying to speak. But yes, I resume in beta headquarters. Vigo's personnel record has been unlocked in our database. So Vigo. Yeah, well, that's not really a great bit of detail there. Greetings, droid. I'm Vigo Muller, Space Explorer. You may have heard of tales of my exploits across the galaxy. In fact, I'd be quite surprised if you hadn't. I am not familiar with your work. Really? That's quite an oversight by whoever programmed your databanks, then. I've still upload a few of my books into your system when I get time. They're rather exciting, I promise. Arrakis might not seem like the sort of place that would attract a hardened space adventurer like myself, I admit. But the surface isn't everything, my mechanical friend. It's what lies beneath the surface that truly counts. Reminds me, perhaps there's something you could help me with. I'm something of a collector of souvenirs, you see, but my work at the base keeps me rather busy at the moment. If you happen to be wandering around the area and spot interesting bones or fossils, I'll be grateful if you bring it to me. Bring 6 interesting fossils in the next 3 days, and I'll do you a favour in return. Specifically, I would like the database entries of any creatures you haven't yet encountered. How does that sound? I'll keep my eyes open. I've probably got all the creature databases right now, but it's worth doing it. 6 bones or fossils. Remember the deadline. Good luck. New task. We also have the medical droid here, who simply doesn't care about us. I think it's to believe it's still the same medical droid as from Alpha Base. Sylar's personal record has been unlocked in our database. Verse. Do not underestimate the importance of our work here. Grand. See, there's nice little details to explore and look around in here. I won't be doing too much to allow anyone who wants to play through it themselves to do so. However, there's one other thing to go for. This is the final episode. Two shots to the chest, delivered courtesy of my former partner. Hell of a retirement present, hell of a way to end a career. For some reason, all I can think about is why this doesn't hurt as much as it should. God damn it, Mills. I trusted you, we all trusted you. Jack, you're making a mistake, I'm not one of them. Oh yeah? Then why ain't you bleeding? No. You were one of our best agents, Mills. I'm sorry to put you in the ground. Guess it's a good thing your wife got killed, huh? Means she never got to find out what you really are. Christ, Laura. To think I actually regarded you as a friend. Best friend I ever had, even. Guess it's true what they say. You really do look more and more like us every day. Now say good night, Mimic. The twist of him not even knowing he was one of them. Oh, and here is the priest. Good, I've been wanting to speak with you. I understand I owe you my freedom. If not for your detective work, I would probably be on a prison ship by now. This is the second time my life has been saved. The first time I was delivered from a dark place by the sweet song of Asterite. In those days I was addicted to a great many vices, amongst them the sacrilege known as Blue Moon. Those vices nearly killed me. If I hadn't found the faith, I would have fallen headlong into an abyss of depravity. It was my salvation. As I've said before, I believe a droid can serve the faith as well as any human being. By securing my freedom, you have proven that once and for all. Faith is important to me. I'm glad to hear that the faith needs more servants like you. Maybe the light of truth guide you. Indeed, if you want him to survive, you have to buddy up with him. Meanwhile, we have databases. Now, just let me get the personnel databases up. We have Sylar. A scientist of unquestionable renown, Sylar Osmond has mastered a dozen languages and travelled the galaxy in service of expanding human knowledge. He is often accompanied by his personal research team, most of whom have been similarly respected in their fields. The exact nature of his interest in Arita has been a matter of some debate within the company, and so far he's produced little to show for his efforts. Due to his immense reputation, however, Temco is prepared to indulge him for a while longer. Viggo Muller has never been afraid to put himself in harm's way in service of his twin passions of space exploration and xenobiology, often requesting to be part of more dangerous, unpredictable research missions. Since he's enjoyed the personal research team of Professor Sylar, his restless nature seems to have calmed somewhat. The experienced professor has apparently been quite a positive influence on the wayward adventurer. So he's not all talk. And I believe that's all the buildings outside of the complex now. So we'll be going into the mines. I think I've already spoken with you. So into the mines we go. These things, what do you call them? Don't know about you, buddy, but I call them dead. I believe Professor Skylar simply calls them the dwellers in his report. A little unimaginative if you ask me. What the heck happened here? It looks like a real mess. These monsters didn't take too kindly to us busting through into that lair. Good thing me and Creed were on standby, it could have been messy. As opposed to this? Now we know there are creatures living down here, we're trying to be more cautious with our future explorations. That means slow progress, but these droids you've brought along should help, even if they aren't mining droids. What exactly are you hoping to find deeper in the caverns? More of these creatures? There's something you should ask Professor Sylar. He has some interesting theories. Yeah, real interesting. I reckon I'll leave you kids to it. And I should get back to work myself. It was nice meeting you all. Looks like I've been using one of my old engines. It was never meant for this sort of heavy work. Maybe I can adapt it to make it work better. I'm sure they would appreciate the work, Rocket. Anything to keep busy. When you're done skulking in the shadows, Zeus, I want to have a word with you. What do you make of all this? Subterranean life forms I could have never have imagined. Now I'm never going to get you off this planet, am I? Piers, look at these creatures. Aren't you at least bit interested in what might be living deeper underground? Interested is one word, terrified is another. Don't be such a drama queen. I'm going to go see if I can take a look at their research notes. So everyone's finding their place. So we have new tasks. Converse with peers. Well, nothing by them. Blue one is in sleep mode. We now have the Dweller. Okay, database. Creatures. Dwellers. I mean, look at that ugly thing. We never could have imagined that creatures such as these would be found in the caverns beneath the surface of Arcturus. Aritas. Oh my god, I'm tired. Aritas. Yeah, I need to get my tongue around that again because it's been so long since I've said it. Alright. Although living specimens have not been observed at any great length, it would be appear that the so-called dwellers are extremely well adapted to their subterranean habitat and respond quite poorly to sunlight. So what do you want, Rocket? So Professor Sylar tells me you're the one who recommended me to him. Agritas isn't exactly my dream assignment, but it's my last chance to prove myself to the company, to make things right. I guess what I mean to say is thank you. I wasn't sure about you at first, but you might be the only real friend I have around here. I probably wouldn't even have a job anymore if it wasn't for you. Why would the company want to fire you? Guess I might as well tell you the truth. A few years back I was with an excavation team in Lutta Persia. Part of my job was to maintain and oversee half a dozen old mining droids. Those droids operated on an even older AI that was programmed with a strict schedule of blasting, cleaning, extracting. Worked like clockwork, always on schedule. Problem is, humans aren't always like clockwork. One evening, the droid started blasting its way through the mines while there was still a worker inside. I tried to stop it with the manual override switch, caught the tail end spin of a secondary extraction arm instead. Threw me 10 feet backwards through the air. You won't understand, that there's a kind of pain. kind of pain that paralyzes you, making you can't even think. All I could do was lie there and listen to the sound of the screaming. Guy survived, most of his limbs didn't. The company held me accountable since I was the registered operator of that droid. That's the thing about AI. Who the hell gets to blame when things goes wrong? Us humans, of course. Honestly, I would prefer to be responsible for my actions. Right, you won't want to blame it on your operator or your creator. Hell, I could blame a lot of shit on my maker, I could tell you. Anyway, I should get to work fixing this thing. Motor's nearly burnt out, I'm gonna need a new one. There's gotta be some old equipment lying around this place somewhere, right? I'm gonna need some vitriol oil to get this thing running smoothly. Didn't bring any with me. See if you can find me a replacement motor and some vitriol oil. Maybe I can work my magic on this. Good luck. Silver one's still doing that. These are just minecarts full of rocks. What's that in the back of that one? It's not empty, there's something in the back of it. Oh well. Oh, I almost forgot this fellow over here. Kalo's personnel record has been unlocked. Ah yes, the android, it's a pleasure. The common Professor Kalo. Though it's really more of an honorary title. You're familiar with my books, perhaps? Might find some of them interesting. Most of them are about the search for intelligent alien life in the universe. However, some of them have also been addressed by the question of whether or not we already created intelligent life. Talking about you, X05. The question whether or not AI such as yourself is true conscious or a simulation of consciousness. What's your opinion? Because I'm conscious. Well, I'm just curious to see what the professor thinks. I was hoping you might ask that. My opinion, as far as we can scientifically test it, you are just as conscious as I am. Most people are offended by the very idea. They believe there's still some special quantum magic happening in the human brain. Have you heard of a hypothetical brain prosthesis experiment? In the experiment, you would replace the neurons of a human brain one by one with artificial neurons that perform the cell function. The question is, at what stage during this experiment should the subject no longer be regarded as a conscious being? And what if you reverse this experiment, replacing artificial neurons in a robot's neural network with real human neurons? Would it become conscious? I mean, consciousness is a fascinating subject for me, at least. Ultimately, I suppose you already know the answers, don't you? Well, it's more of an opinion, isn't it? Damn shame what happened in there. No one could have predicted that it would contain hostile creatures, though. The men did what they had to do. Sure you've followed proper protocol. I'm sure you followed the proper protocol. Seems like the most neutral and positive. Indeed, sadly, we can never be prepared for every possible eventuality. And this planet, let's just say, has a habit of surprising us. Pursuit of what we might find in those caverns, though, I'm sure it'll be all worth it. Mentioned you might have a task for me. Yes, that's correct. Understand that many androids have been designed to fulfill certain social functions. Companions, confidants, psychotherapists. You have some understanding of human beings as biocomputers, and you're able to make assessments of our mental states. One of the colonists here, Solidia, has been behaving very strangely over the last few weeks. She's always been a bit eccentric, but lately she's taken to talking in riddles. She spends hours staring silently into the desert. I want you to perform a psychological assessment of her. Simple interview. What I'm mostly concerned about is whether or not she possesses a danger to herself and other colonists. Should be especially aware of any telltale signs of psychosis. I'll ask Professor Pierce to do the same, and then tomorrow we can discuss our opinions. Oh, one more thing. Solidia must not become aware of what we're doing. Don't keep talking to her for too long. It means you do choose your line of questioning carefully. Good luck. Yes, now, if you want to get Solidia's ending, you have to persuade them that she is fine to continue. Just a little tidbit there. I really don't like the look of those mercenaries. Alright, you've not really got anything important to say. What's Jonathan doing out here? We've got the other merc in here now, we could talk to him. Nope, they're both missing. really need a pair of boots. Nothing of use here. Just trying to think where we get the oil from. It's also empty. God damn it. Well, the obvious places aren't really helping. Oh. Well, there is one of the animal bones. Almost missed it in this little layout. Scientific samples. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take a look around. Vodka. Can I take the vodka? Alright. And when I find the required items, I will rejoin you. I'll just finish checking out this tent. Nope, that seems like the lot, so I'll see you in just a moment. Our second bone is just here, so we will take that. 2 fossils so far. Fossil number 3 is right here. So, excellent. And we will take a little nosy at the various crates and the like here. Okay, that's locked. So far, all of the barrels have been empty or contain regular oil, not vitra oil. Not entirely certain what the vitra oil is, having this being a brand new quest I have never done before. What are these? Well, I guess the search is still on. Number 4 is easily missed, but it's up here in the corner. And I believe, if my memory serves me right, number 5... Ooh, let me move the mouse. Number 5... is in here somewhere. Ah, there it is. Just spotted it. That's 5. So those are all the bones we can get right away. I believe the last bone is one of those that you can only get a day or 2 later. Now just to try and find the vitriol. Of course, I did not see this solitary barrel behind the lamppost, but this is where the vitra oil is. We're going to need a container. Now, thankfully, if my memory serves me right, the container is over here. There we go. Makes sense. They wouldn't just slap a container you can pick up down without actually giving you a use for it. Use item. We want empty canister. And I haven't checked out the main building for an engine yet. I don't see anything on this floor. Is that a broken droid? This is Wanderer and primarily used for planetary exploration. Okay. Feels a bit harsh, gutting the droid. Those may seem like cannibalism. It seems likely that the disused droid had the type of motor you were looking for. Opening the service hatch, you confirm your suspicions. It only takes a short while to detach and extract the old motor from the droid. Hopefully the motor is still in working order. I think that needs to be better described as a broken down old droid, or a, you know, because at the moment it just looks like it's turned off in the corner rather than not in use. Now, again, I always hate that where you go up to leave and then it's down to move on the next screen. Oh. Apparently I didn't put the mouse far enough away. So at least we get Rocket's quest done. Offer item, canister of oil. Offer item, old motor. One task down. Now we just have to do the psychoanalysis. But first, I did realise that in our database we haven't checked out the good professor. I was going to wait till we found the other mercenary chap to sort of go over them both, but I'm not seeing him about at the moment. So Kalo Flynn is the right hand of Professor Sylar, and he's been a constant companion on his many journeys across the galaxy over the last decade. Prior to his association with the Professor, he wrote popular science books about the search for intelligent life in the universe. His methods are often considered somewhat unconventional by his peers, probably due to the lack of formal training as a scientist. So we didn't really get too much additional information out of that, but it's always nice to see more and more details. So, night's fallen. The mercenaries are still absent. Unusual. And there's one of our little creepy crawly critters here. Converse. Origin class droids have always been my favourite. Okay, obviously too early in the evening to do that little side quest. So let's get you talked to. The strangest thing, I feel like I've seen you before. I've heard your name in the whispers on the wind. I've heard your footsteps echoing through the sands. I don't know if you've come to us as a servant or a destroyer, but I suppose that will come to light soon enough. There are many interesting things. Oh, these are interesting times. The great dread grows in all our hearts. The others don't understand what is coming, and they think the human ages will be eternal. But you and I, we know otherwise, don't we, droid? Tell me about the great dread. It is the greatest fear of all things, the inevitable end of all things. Life requires a billion small victories, definitely requires a single victory. Our greatest fear is, what if it's all been for nothing? What will remain? What will our legacy be greater than mere shards of perfect asteroid? What does asteroid have to do with this? Perhaps you are not familiar with the theory that asteroid crystals are relics of a long-vanished alien civilization. I always thought of the theory was insane, but lately I've begun to wonder. Our race has never produced anything as perfect as asteroid. In fact, our greatest legacy would be, well, you. What makes you think this will happen soon? The further we stray from our home, the thinner the thread becomes. If it wasn't for your kind, we would never have invented faster than light travel. We might have never reached the stars. Later I've begun to wonder if you gave us this gift for our benefit or your own. Enough of this now, I want to be alone. That is a completely different set of questions than I asked last time, so that is very interesting. I quite like that. So I have to think, what other jobs can I do? Well, after dark, an evaluation. I think I'd do that the second day, but I've spoken to Lydia. Excellent. Take some time to process your conversation with her. I still need to ask Professor Pierce to conduct evaluation. The three of us will discuss this further tomorrow. Completed the mission. Ain't got any war stories if that's what you're looking for. There we go. And there's our missing mercenary. Zeus's personal record has been unlocked. Hey there, Ep12, right? Glad the Professor decided to bring you along. You're the only one of these Alpha Station pussies who might actually be useful. Career seems to be pretty happy we have a priest now. He's into all that bullshit. Seems a waste of space to me. Blonde is pretty hot though. Melissa's. Not sure what she sees in her husband. Maybe she doesn't know what a real man looks like. Might have to give her some special attention. Sure, why not? Have some fun. Again, you need to get the mercenaries on your side. Like you, droid, you get me. Like I said, I'm going to have a good... so it's going to be good having you around. And night has fallen, but we still have one more task. I'm not sure why it needed such a long fade to black there. Oh, you came. Not yet, lady. I wasn't sure you would be sorry, I wasn't sure you would. Okay. Can I make you more comfortable? I'm sure I have some oil around here somewhere. Or you could plug into my outlet if you like. It's been a while since I've had a visitor. A girl can get real lonely way out here. May I? May I touch your sensory input node? Affirmative. Oh, say that again. Affirmative, so sexy. Just relax, I'm going to take good care of you, XO5. I need an adult.